Hello there, welcome to the learning session of Java के भाषा. In this video, I am going to explain how the topic as I giving the heading exception handling. Exception handling is a topic for most interview question arise in interview, and most of interviewers are asked the questions and in tech interview. So I think this is a chapter in which we can develop our interview skill better. We can make our interview skill better. Okay. So, starting the chapter, what is the exception handling and what is the need of exception handling? This is a basic question. Why, what exception handling, why exception handling, where exception handling? Those are the basic questions. So, first thing is that need of this chapter. Need of this chapter. Need that means why should I use the exception? Why should we are using exception handling? Why should we are using exception handling? The question is that the that means the reason the reason is that why you are using the concept. Basically, in this chapter, exception handling, we learn solving runtime error. Runtime error is solving runtime error, or you can call exception. You can call exception. Those are those are occurred during the program execution time. During the program, that means when you're trying to execute a program, that time the runtime error comes. Reason that during the execution of program uh, will uh, will execute, there is some wrong input given by the user or programmer, so that exception come. Okay, in simple word, to solving runtime error, those are occupied during program execution time. During a program execution, we will read input value from end user from keyboard. Here there is a chance of end user will pass wrong value either knowingly or unknowingly. Due to this, the program value execution will be terminated abnormally or middle of the program. So that if you want to execute it terminated abnormally, we will lose previous enter all value and the transaction. Simple word, very simple. दैट मीन्स अगर आप ये होता है कि अगर आप कोई भी प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूट कर रहे हो एग्जीक्यूशन टाइम में अगर आप एग्जीक्यूट कर रहे हो तो कोई भी आपका एरर आता है रीजन ऑफ दैट आप जो एंट्री करते हो वैल्यू एंट्री करते हो रॉन्ग इनपुट आप नोइंगली और अननोइंगली आप वैल्यू इनपुट कर रहे हो उस वजह से आप कुछ एक्सेशन आ रहा है तो इसी वजह से आपका प्रोग्राम एबनॉर्मल टर्मिनेट हो रहा है तो इसलिए आपको डाटा लॉस है इसे कहते हैं इसलिए हम एक्सेप्शन हैंडलिंग चैप्टर पढ़ रहे हैं कैसे नॉर्मली हम लोग इसे एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हैं प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूट नॉर्मली कर सकते हैं here like that suppose you enter a 100 number student value in a table and you have filled up the form starting 1 to 99 you are enter 1 to 99. Unfortunately you have a call that time and you are receiving call by mistake you press in the place of name you are placing 123 and you hit enter in the program. That means that is that time you are not knowing about the what is you pressing but you normally or unknowingly press the number so that after that the value will enter and you execute but that time there is a error come and your program is abnormally terminated. That means you are losing the 99 content whatever you enter. This is the abnormal termination. Okay, this is the abnormal termination. This is called abnormal termination. Okay, then how could I solve this problem? The solution is the exception handling chapter. Okay, then going to our next level discussion, what is exception? What is it? Going to a level exception, what is What is exception? What is exception? Write it down. What is exception? In general, exception and the runtime error. Exception is the runtime error occurs during the logical mistake occupied programmer execution. Okay, exception is a runtime error. Exception is a runtime error occur due to a logical mistake of programmer execution because of writing wrong input given by the end user or other programmer. Okay, execution is a runtime error caused during the logical mistake occurred during program execution. Okay, program um, execution wrong input given by the end user or programmer. That is called exception. That is called exception. In normal world, it is called exception. Okay, you write the note. Okay, that means it is a runtime error. It is not compiled time, the runtime error. Due to some logical mistake, you have entered some thing that in execution time. During program execution time, writing input value end user or you are end user typing. This is called exception. But in the technical word, you can call us exception is an object. Exception is an object. It is an instance of one of the subclass of java.lang.Throwable class. You can call it exception is an object. It is an instance of one of the subclass of java.lang.Throwable class. It is used to representing the logical mistake occurred in the program. It is used to represent the logical mistake occupied in the program. Okay, you can call it technical word in the technical definition. If the interview asks, you can reply both two type of definition. This is a simple one. First one is a simple definition, yeah, but it technically sound like this. Okay, then give some example. Give some example. Give some example. What is the exception? An example. Uh, you may call as there is some error called like arithmetic exception, negative array exception, null pointer exception. Just like those are there is many error, but those here give the example, etc. Those are present. Okay. Some example like negative array index exception, arithmetic exception, normal formal exception, null pointer exception, or you can call as array index bound exception. Then going to our next level, type of exception. The next level is a type of exception. Type of exception in subclass. In subclass, how many types of exception? Basically, in subclass there is two types of exception. One is subclass runtime exception. One is subclass runtime exception, and second one is direct subclass exception. Second one, direct subclass exception. Note down. There is two type of subclass exception. First one is direct subclass of runtime exception, and second one direct subclass exception. This is the two type of exception in subclass. Then going to next question of next question. Yes, next question. Going to next question. What is the difference between now? Then go to our next discussion that type of exception. The type of exception. Type of exception. How many types of exception? The types of exception. Basically, there is two type of there is two type of exception. two-step execution. First one is called checked exception, and second one is called, yep, there is a mistake here. And this is one. This is yes. Second one is can call as unchecked exception. There is two type exception. One is checked exception. One is unchecked exception. Okay. One is checked exception. Another is unchecked exception. Got a point? Then there is question occurs that what is checked exception? What is unchecked exception? What is checked exception? What is unchecked exception? Simple answer of this question is that when exception when exception throws, or you can throw by the developer, or you can call as a programmer using throw keyword, using throw keyword if the exception handling by, or you can call as um, handle or you can call as exception checked. Exception is checked by compiler. Compiler is called checked exception. Checked exception. Okay. Checked exception else is called unchecked, or is called unchecked exception. What the point? Check exception means throw keyword, developer throw exception by using throw keyword. That means when developer throw a exception in the program execution time or program return time, if the exception is compiled or check the compiler check, that is called checked exception, or otherwise called unchecked exception. That means simple word, अगर आप प्रोग्रामर एक एक्सेप्शन को थ्रो करता है, if compiler check the exception, this is called checked exception, otherwise it's called unchecked exception, otherwise called unchecked exception. You have got a point or not? This is all about your exception. What is exception? Type of exception, different type of exception. Then going to our next level discussion, that is that is called some type of program that is give exception. So I give an example. Here I open my edit plus software. It is open my edit plus, and yes, and I have written some code, sample code that gives some exception. You might be easily understand. I open here. Suppose yes, A. I have created class A. Declare a class. I have created a class A. In class, I have created main method, public static void. In the main method, I have declared local variable int a equal 20, int b equal 10, and int c is equal to a by b, and a by b, and I want to read the value. Then I'll simple write system.out of c. and then compile, try to compile, see compilation compile, and to execute, see the value execute. There is no compile time error or runtime error. There is no runtime error. If it is exception rise, there is a runtime error. Okay, there is no compile time. Value is 2. If it is right in B place, suppose logically I have did a mistake or wrongly I place in place of 10 I place 0 and then try to compile. See compile, there is no compile error. And execute, see there is a runtime error. Exception is thread main java.lang.Arithmetic java.lang.Arithmetic by 0 as the main. Okay, he's giving line number 7. Okay, that means it is causing an error or not, it's causing an exception or not. That means JVM terminated the program by throwing arithmetic exception because logical mistake committed is divided integer number. Logical mistake committed is divided integer number by integer 0. As we know that if I divide any number, integer, if it is not possible to divide an integer number by 0, so that we are getting an exception. The program is terminated abnormally. It is terminated abnormally. It is just abnormal terminated. Then JVM, what will we do when logical mistake occupied the program? Then question is what will you do that logical mistake on the program is solved? Or you can call what will we do when logical mistake occurred in the program? JVM create an exception class object that occurs within a logical mistake and terminate in the current method exception by throwing exception for object using throw keyword. By throw keyword. Okay, throw keyword. Then how we solve the problem? How we solve the problem? And you can call as exception as the process of reporting exception. The process of reporting exception, a method catch of an exception to stop abnormal termination of a program is called exception handling. The process of reporting an exception to method caller or catching an exception to stop abnormal termination of the program is called exception handling. Basically, basically, we'll handle exception to stop abnormal termination and provide understandable message to end user. The type of exception arises. Suppose think this is a business logic, and if those kind of error occurring in the screen, how the end user understand what is the arithmetic exception. The end user doesn't know about the process what is arithmetic exception. So we have to handle that. We can handle the exception. We can handle the exception by using some keyword or catch, catch, and final. This is three keyword using, and also throw throw. By using those five, we can handle the exception. This is a 5 keyword process of handling exception. Then what is try? Try is basically there is many definition. You can find it in any book or anything. As a given simple that those places the exception rise, the condition for exception rise, simple place a try, and if you want to catch, place and catch. Exception like that. Simple. The example like that. Suppose one player hit a ball through air, and the ball in the air. First, what we do? We're trying to catch. We're trying. First, we try. Then try. Then after we are catch or not. Or finally, it got catch or not. This like first try, then catch, then finally. This is a schedule. This is an alternate schedule, but this is example or not. It's basically when what is the particular place is exception right, place this line like try, and the exception will come in the try, catch to the exception, and like catch block, and it does problem solve. How? So how it is possible? Simple. Catch block is used to catch exception. Those are throw from the corresponding try block. It has a logical to take necessary action on that catch exception. Okay. Then final keyword is used to place a set of statement on block execution. Okay. On state of execution, that place statement on one block. That means those statements we want to execute compulsory, we have to place in final. Simple. See here, here this line also, this is also get out to these three lines also give a error. How? Suppose it is 10, in place of a I place 0 and I try to compile, it is compile and execute. See, there is also error, value 0 get, because of 10 by 0 it's possible. Suppose instead of here I write 0 and I compile, see, and look at the output, arithmetic exception. I getting arithmetic exception because these three line gave a exception, so you have to place this like try in try block, and catch the exception by catch block. What is the error? Arithmetic exception. In some mistake spelling, this is called arithmetic exception. What is rise is actually arise in the try block. Um, Program try to execute arithmetic exception E. Arithmetic exception E. Here arithmetic exception E, and here you can place anything you find, anything you logic you can take a place. And suppose I enter something like copy, and here I paste. In here I write something logic. I like enter integer value without negative and 0. Simple compile and execute. There is some error occupied. This is not. This is of. This is that error. Reason of error is that because C is value not found here. So you have to place in main method. Here you in the scope you place and try to execute. See this no container and then give a mass enter integer value without negative or 0. See it is 0, then answer 20 by 0 expression. It is 4 to here. Catch block exception rise here, this exception rise and go to catch block print here. This is how you can handle the exception. It can handle the exception. Then what is the syntax of try catch? Give me some example. Simple, you can write try catch example like suppose class I called example. In the class, yes, this is class. Okay, try block, try catch. This is a try. So in here I write some logic, anything logic you can write, anything, and catch block like simple catch. You can some exception. What is the rises in your program with some reference. You can write some logic here or anything you want to display, and those statement you want to compulsory want to execute, then use the finally keyword. Okay, finally keyword, it helps to execute. Yeah, this is all about the try catch. Finally, some simple concept. If you want to go to deeper execute, Then you have to go to next level discussion. How it is apply, how it is execute, how it is flow. Control flow, try catch. That is to explain in the next video. Thank you for my watching my video. If there is any doubt, you can give the comment section. Okay. Thank you for your